Welcome, everyone. Today, I'm going to give you the five main trends causing the substantial shifts in real estate today. Let's get started.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Welcome back, everyone. This will be a rather quick episode. Be sure you stay to the end. I'm going to give all five reasons and five big trends in real estate that are causing price fluctuations across every market. And if you don't play it right and understand these trends, you're either one, at risk of losing money, or two, a risk at not capturing the most upside in your deals. Okay, so let's get started. Number one, it shouldn't be a surprise that over the last decade, many cities have seen skyrocketing price increases year over year. I used to live in the Bay Area, and I recall years where price appreciations were 30, 40%. And as I began to save more and more, I was constantly outpaced by the appreciation. At one point, people were paying almost 55% of their income towards rent or mortgages in the Bay Area, for example. And so affordability was out of whack for a lot of cities, that being Chicago, New York, LA for the most part, and San Francisco. And there's other cities that have also seen a lot of appreciation. And so one of the key factors is the cost of living. You're seeing a lot of people not be able to justify why they would live in San Francisco when half the restaurants are closed, the Uber rides are expensive, a beer is $14, you can't buy lunch for under 20 bucks. It doesn't make sense, right? And then you factor in the income tax along with that. The cost of living simply doesn't justify what you're getting for a home. So the first big trend is that people are moving to more affordable cities. Now, obviously that's a very obvious statement, but within that, they're going to places that have also a quality of life and a high quality of life. So think about good restaurants, or maybe it's live music, or maybe it's sports arenas. There's got to be an attraction beyond cost of living, right? One of the reasons that Austin's so attractive is because it is a live music capital of the United States. And there's a lot of entertainment, there's a college, there's a lot of things to do there. There's a great beer scene, there's a good food scene. And so, with all that and the affordable living, people see it as the place to be. Phoenix is another good example. Number two, this is one that I think as of late people have realized to be a big concern. And not to play politics here, but legislation has really driven people away from the high regulation, high tax legislation that has essentially clamped down on their freedoms and ability to spend their money the way they want to. You can see this very widely with the Bay Area in California and Gavin Newsom, who has just recently had a massive recall or the attempt to recall him out of office. People are not happy with legislation there. People were not happy with the legislation in Portland and parts of Seattle. And again, not to play politics, this is just fact. The legislation for many people has gone too much towards regulation, too much towards taxation. And you're seeing companies move to places that are more business friendly. You're seeing people move to follow those companies as well as to get out of the areas that are high regulation and just a pain to be in for doing business or anything related to the government. And so, and I'll tell you, as a business owner owning several businesses across the nation, including one in California, it is by far one of the worst states to do business in. I have had a painful process in managing a company there so much that we had to close it down and reestablish it in a different state. Okay. The third one, this is an interesting one, but the type of real estate. Now, that might not seem intuitive at first, but you think about what you buy in San Francisco, right? Condos, or what you buy in New York, condos. People want space. And additionally, you think about markets like Dallas, right? Very cookie cutter type of real estate. People are looking for unique homes with, or not co-working, but remote working space. They're looking for designs that are family friendly with yards and space and safe communities that have amenities and so forth. So it's not just the affordability; it's also what kind of real estate are they getting. One market that quickly comes to mind is Charleston, South Carolina, which people are moving to. And so one of the interesting things about Charleston, South Carolina is the type of real estate is very charming. It's a colonial style southern sort of architecture that people like quite a bit. You're also seeing this in Austin. Austin is growing and building a lot of modern, unique looking homes, right? Mid-century modern, if you will. And so they're not building the cookie cutter, 4,000 square feet, two-story home that you see maybe in Dallas. So the type of real estate is also driving people to different markets as well. Number four, remote work. Shouldn't be surprised. I think I read an article recently that 40% of all CFOs are considering permanent remote work across the Fortune 500. That is a substantial amount of consideration. So remote work is not going anywhere. It's going to be here for a long time. Even if we get through 2022, it's going to be here for some time. And I think people are realizing that. And so they're taking the risk. They're moving to cities that offer them good schools, good affordability, a big bang for their buck in their housing, low regulation in the government space to allow them to also work from home in a cheaper area, right? Low income tax as well. Big part of that. And then lastly, number five is jobs. We've been seeing a lot of exodus out of California to the markets like Phoenix, Houston, Dallas, Austin. You're seeing that also from New York City. I expect to see it soon from Chicago. And you're seeing these corporations move to, again, lower regulation, more business friendly states. And that's going to relate on people moving there because the jobs are there, right? One of the reasons I moved to Austin back in the day is because I said, well, I want to be in an affordable market with a lot to offer, like Austin. But if for whatever reason I need to go in the corporate world and get a new job, I want to be in a place that has high paying wages. Well, I saw Austin as that market. So the jobs really were one of the reasons that I moved to Austin as well. But people are moving also where the jobs are, and the jobs are moving to pro business, low regulation states. And again, not to play politics, this is just what's happening, right? And just the recent Oracle Tesla move to Austin is a good indication of that. So these are the five main trends we're seeing in the real estate market. Another one I'll give you for a bonus is I think you're going to see a lot of developers. I'm a developer as well, and I think you're going to see a lot of developers begin to develop communities that are what is called build to rent. So they're going to be building communities that are essentially offer the quality of life that you would want, the amenities, the safe communities with nice gyms and parks and all pools and whatnot, but there'll be rentals. And so people will go towards a rent model and not necessarily want to buy a home if the rental communities are nice. And so expect to see a lot of developers build rent or build to rent models in the future. So those are some of the big trends happening in the market. I just want to give you a quick update as to what's driving some of the changes in the real estate market. If you haven't been keeping up with the news, that's what I'm looking at to see how those variables change. So if you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Thanks.